All right, so if you are here and you are ready for today's class, just let me get feedback. I'm ready, we're ready. Also, if the class so far has been helpful, you could send a message to the chat box and say helpful, very helpful, and we'll read through. I hope everybody can hear me. Okay, I can see messages. Good evening, sir. Good evening to you too. Okay. Uh, yes, my weekend is doing well. Mine is fine. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, ready, ready. I'm ready. Uh, It's been greatly helpful. Okay, you are welcome and helpful, helpful. God has blessed you, sir. Amen. God has blessed you too. Amen. Amen. Okay, so let's get started with today's class. Okay, my team is saying you guys should unmute your mic and talk. If you have any feedback so far, uh, you're permitted to unmute your mic for the next 2 minutes. We'll just get feedback. It's good. It helps us to create more. So if you have any feedback on something maybe you've observed or you've learned or it's helping you so far, feel free to unmute your mic and the next 2 minutes and let's hear from you.
This is the best training I've ever been involved in.
Oh wow. Okay. I think from your own end, should it be evening because we've been saying good evening? May I know your name,
It's
sir?
it, it I mean it's Jim. I'm in the UK. Yeah, it's the same time as you.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Difference is so much.
Exactly the same time skills. Brilliant. 7 o'clock at night.
Yes. Yeah. Nice to meet you.
This has been enlightening. It's eye-opening. Uh,
Good, good to know.
yep.
Welcome on board. Thank you.
It's so genuine. It is so genuine. Yep.
Thank you.
And it is appreciated as well, Jerry. You put a lot of work into this, and it is appreciated. We're not just sitting here like, just letting you
Yeah.
sort of talk away, we're absorbing this, or at least I am.
Oh, thank
Replaying the
you.
videos, replaying the learning. I've learned an awful lot from this just in a couple of weeks.
Wow. Wow.
Really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
If you come to the UK, we will meet.
I will come to the UK. I've been planning that. I will come to the UK.
Yeah. Well, you let me know when.
Oh, thank you
Thank you.
so much.
No, thank you.
Anyone else? So we can proceed. Okay, I think we can go. Can we? All right. So if you're just joining us, please mute your mic so we can get started with today's class. I think that's it. Good. So we have covered trading strategies, and it was intentional because psychology has to do with two parts. Trading mastery and consistent profitability has two parts of it. It has to do with the trading strategy, and the trading strategy is defined by anything that gives you a statistical edge over the market. So we have a system that over a series of trades, we will come out profitable, regardless of human emotion, identifying patterns, following the system, we will come out profitable. So that's the plan. Then when it now comes to the second part, which contributes heavily, it is believed 80% of our trading success comes from our psychology. And this is because it has to do a lot with our mindset. Now, why is this so? Why is it that 80% of our trading comes from our psychology and the part we can see and identify is just, so to speak, 20%? Is important too, but not as important as this. So, what is trading psychology briefly? Now, the reason I'm teaching this is because I could just give trading a trading chart pattern or how to approach the market with a fundamental or a technical perspective and tell you to go. But you'll be stuck in the same circle as every other retail trader is. And that's the idea that what they see alone is what controls the market. Now, it's not about knowing what to do. It's about doing what you know. And that's the most difficult part of it. Because many times people feel like, oh, I know the pattern. I know the system. I'm applying the pattern. Why is it not working? Why is the results I'm supposed to get not happening. And this dives very much deeper, and it's going to be an interesting journey. Follow me carefully. Now, trading psychology is the mental and emotional framework, basic English, right? Your mind, the mental, the emotions. We're talking about your mind, we're talking about your emotions and how you react when you enter a trade, when you are managing the trade, that's when you are inside the trade, and whether you follow your plan or not. All these things, all this, and they encompass trading psychology. And if a strategy was enough, we would have worked with the strategy alone, but it's not. You need a mind that can handle stress and uncertainty because you understand why stress, uncertainty, and fear, these three things, stress, uncertainty, and fear, it's one of the major killers of trading accounts. Now, why is trading psychology so important? Why do we talk about it? I have a book on this. If you don't have it yet, I'll send it to the group. It's a simple self-help guide. I have a book on this that specifically points to why is trading psychology so important? Because it is very simple and easy to identify a pattern. I'm telling you, it could take maybe 2 days for some, maybe 1 week for some, to master it really. But relatively speaking, if I draw that pattern for you 5 times, 10 times, 15 times, you get the idea of it. It makes sense. It's easy. It's simple to understand. You can't see it. You get the idea of it. But you see, the market triggers your survival instincts. So the way we were built to function as traders or as human beings rather, there are two parts of our life, and many, if you study psychology or neurosurgeons, tell us that there is the fight or flight response, and that part largely is involuntary. Listen to me carefully. The part of your brain that pushes you into fight or flight is involuntary. And the reason it's this way is because you were built to protect yourself. Your brain was built to protect itself. And so when you are in a trading environment, and many of us don't recognize this, but when you're in a trading environment and there is money on the line, immediately stress comes on you, your brain is triggered into this emotional state of fight or flight. It's very, very powerful. And once you enter fight or flight, your actions become involuntary. And you see why you make mistakes. Now, because this part of you is largely involuntary, it's something you cannot control, it's something your brain does for you. It blurs the vision as to your brain is always seeking to take you out of a situation that is uncomfortable. So it doesn't like this. I don't want this. And then what it does is it shuts down, then it makes you start taking irrational actions. We'll dive deep into this. It says, the next part says, your emotional brain reacts faster than your thinking brain because largely emotions are involuntary. So when somebody says to you, or maybe somebody says something to you that sounds like an insult, or somebody points a finger to you that says you're crazy or you're stupid or you did this, immediately before you start reasoning it, okay, maybe the person didn't mean it that way. Maybe I shouldn't take it personal. The first thing you feel, that's the part I'm going to. The first thing you feel is either anger, resentment, sadness, something generates inside you before you now say, okay, get a hold of yourself. Your emotional brain is faster than your logical brain. And this is why many times you must have made the mistake and be like, why did I close the trade? Why did I shift my stop loss? Why did I exit too early? Because the part of you that function is your emotions and it works faster than your logic. Now, in the heat of the moment, if you are not trained, this is where we are going to get to. It's a training, you can work on it. But in the heat of the moment, if you are not trained, you abandon your rules. And the reason is simple, the emotional part of you is largely involuntary. And because it is involuntary, you can't control how you feel sometimes. It takes training to do that. It will actually cost you a lot of training errors. This is something that took me a lot of time to master. And I'm pointing it out to you because I discovered what the problem is. Now, it says the reason you are inconsistent is not lack of knowledge, it's a lack of emotional control. especially when you are under pressure. Because, like I said, go back to the first point. When you enter stress, and why I'm not stressed, some people say I'm not stressed when I try to trade. I'm not, you are stressed, except you train your mind. So if you're new to trading, you come into the market, you are definitely stressed because you put money on the line. And then the people, like you see beginners make foolish mistakes by increasing the size of their trading and all in the need to become successful in one trade. Now you will learn that that doesn't work in the long term moving forward. But when they do this, guess what you increase? You increase the level of stress and pressure. Once stress and pressure mounts you more than usual, the emotional part of the brain takes control. And what does it do? It either fights or it flies. Let's move forward. The common trading mistakes you keep making. Now, this is true for every single trader that comes into the trading world. And this is just some of them. And this is regardless of when you say, I'm not going to do this. You say to yourself, I'm not going to do this, and then you end up doing it. So, what happens is that the emotional part of you take control. So entering too early because you're afraid of missing out. And I've had this in my lifetime. Okay, where the market is going to go again, like it's going to go my way. I believe so. And then I'm waiting for the market to come to my target. Then I'm sitting down and it's acting like, and you know the thing, if you scalp like me, I do every style of trading, especially, but I don't really scalp that much, but I do every style, but mostly day trading though. So if you're scalping sometimes like me, and you're looking at the candles, and there is something the market does, it starts to itch higher, and you're like, that my limits, that my fair value gap, or that my breaker block, or my support and resistance, is it not coming back to that previous resistance on support? So you jump in too early, and then it turns out that the market would either go against you, or it just decides not to go again, and your entry is terrible. Your entry becomes terrible because you enter too early. Everybody does this. You move your stop losses because you can't handle being wrong. This is a very subconscious thing, and we'll talk about it moving forward. But there is a reason you make these mistakes. The market is coming against you. You don't want to take the loss. And the reason you don't want to even take the loss is not just because you don't want to take the loss in that trade. It's because there is a subconscious understanding when you're growing up, and we'll tackle that. Subconsciously, they taught us winning. They taught us not to be wrong. When you are in class and somebody raises their hand and answer a question, they clap for the one that is right. The one that fails it, the reinforcement is go and learn more. Or if you are in some places, you even get flogged for being wrong. And those things, and sadly speaking, those things did something very critical for our mind. And the obsession to be right was coded into our brain. This is very powerful. But there is a way to heal from this. You don't know that you have this because you've not really sat down to face these things unless they are in front of you. So the first fear is you are afraid to miss out because you heard that Bitcoin rallied the other day and you are poor because you didn't join them. You heard that these people made money the other day and you are poor because you didn't join them. So that obsession of I do not want to miss out makes you enter trade early. There is a subconscious underlying thing here. We have to deal with it. Now it says the next thing says refusing to take profit and greed. It said to be greed and guys by, oh, I'm confident. The reason you refuse to take losses is because when you came into the trading world, they told you this will make you money overnight. This will blow you overnight. This has the potential to change your life like night and day. And then they showed you profits. And then they showed you Lamborghinis. They showed you buildings and houses. And not that these things are bad in itself, it's that the damage it does to you when you trade is you feel like there can be more. The market is going my way. I know it's going my way. I see it going my way. But the real truth is you are greedy because of the mindset you brought to the market. You see that these things have to be tackled. And what you even need to is not by writing, I refuse to be greedy. You're just going to recycle years and years of pain. We have to face this underlying subconsciousness. Not everybody has everyone, as I'm mentioning it. And for you, it's different. Some of you, The reason why you revenge trade is because you have a solid belief that your analysis should tell you where the market is going. And when it doesn't, you are like, you are supposed to go up. And that does not make any sense because you're working in the market where you have absolutely no control. But you know you have no control over the market, but you still revenge trade. And the reason you do this is because subconsciously you believe you have studied technical trading, you have studied all the analysis type there is, you have studied fundamentals, you put all those things together, you spend 6 months, 6 days, 6 hours waiting for the trading setup, and it should go my way. And when it doesn't, you want to revenge trade. You want to revenge trade. You want to get back all those profits because you were not trained to accept losses. You are not trained to just take it and move forward. And this is very bad. Now, another common mistake we make is overtrading. And this one is as a result of the obsession to think that I know what I'm doing. I'm going to go in. Overtrading can also be a product of revenge trading. Overtrading, your emotions are high, you can't take the loss, you keep adding trades, or your emotions are good, you are euphoric, I'm overconfident, I'm on top of the moon. My mama told me that I could do anything once I put my mind to it. Then you keep making excessive trades. And if you do this, it's something we can deal with time, with consistency, where you need to identify this. When you risk too much trying to fix results, well, or trying to fix your current state of life puts you under stress. The reason you risk too much is because of what you have seen as a possibility in the market. And let me quickly run. It says ignoring your plan. This one is a big one. I'm not going to trade on Fridays. That's what many people say to themselves. I won't trade on Fridays. I won't trade on Mondays. But somehow, somewhere, they end up making that same mistake. Why is this? I mean, they assume that somehow what they know produces results in the market and they break their trading plan. And finally, they have linking identity to results. And this is because we live in a social world that your worth is ranked by status, by how many cars you have, how many buildings you've built, how many houses you bought, what is the size of your bank account. You see, these things are not bad, right? It's fine to, I like good things too. But when those things become your obsession, when you come to the market and you say, no, I'm not obsessed, I just want to pay my bills. The truth is, where, like I said, the emotional part of you is largely involuntary. And guess what? Your subconscious is your emotional part. Your subconscious mind largely controls your emotional part. What is the subconscious mind? We'll talk about that moving forward. So all these mistakes you make are not just things you can write down on a paper and talk yourself out of it. They might do some good, but we have to be able to see what causes them, and then to alter our subconscious mind to make sure the mind we carry in trading becomes an automatic thing. And when it's automatic and you're under pressure, what will now come out of you instead of fight or flight is the training you have given yourself. Now, the reasons for this mistake, like I was mentioning, most things are emotions. When you are under pressure and there is something sitting on you, a survival mode kicks in. Oh, my money is on the line, my bank account, or I'm risking too much, and it's triggered by stress, uncertainty, and risk. Now, when you come into the business world, right, uncertainty is not something many people learn to accept because we believe that we can control results. And here you are, your mind is coming into a market where you cannot control the outcome. We can only control ourselves. You have to learn to accept uncertainty to the point where you know that I can't control outcomes. Now, the emotional brain reacts faster than your logical mind. That's what I was talking about, and it makes all these problems come to the surface. You have to sit down and identify what is my major psychological problem and what is this linked to, right? You need to, one of my own, when I discovered before I had to work on myself was when I started learning SMC concept, I became I dive deep into it. I learned ICT, SMC, fundamental analysis, sentiment analysis, and I found a way to blend sentiment and smart money concept in a very simple way that produces consistent results. And I could see these things and make money from them. And then I entered the realm where revenge trading became something I had to struggle with because I learned so much, and I believe that you can't take from me with all the knowledge I know. So that thing is, I didn't even see it that way until I began to sit down. Why do I revenge trade? Why do I go back in this market to force it to, and then it keeps taking from me? Because I believe or I feel somehow that too much of the knowledge I've gotten has helped me, has made me invincible, has made the market to now bend to my will. And that is mostly not the case. So you have to focus and sit down. This is your assignment. Write out your major mistakes and sit down and give a reflection to yourself in honesty and say, could this be linked to something like this? And could this be linked to something like this? And how do I work on them? Now, it makes it hard to follow your plan when you're under pressure. And the truth is, you are not weak, right? You are not weak, you are not broken, you are just wired this way. You are wired to function with what is largely in your subconscious mind, and by default you were created for fight or flight. And when you enter a market that wants to take your money from you, survival mode kicks in. And people who are largely fight dominant, they begin to move their stop loss. I'm not going to give up. They begin to move their stop loss, they begin to increase their size. People who are flight dominant, they run away too quickly. They enter trades because of fear of missing out. These things are wired. You must train your mind differently. Now, the second reason is that you have a subconscious wiring. This is the point I keep mentioning. And you might be trading to prove your worth or to avoid the fear of failure. And this one, we all grew up with it. Now, you may be repeating patterns you don't even see, and this is true. Now, the third reason, which is the final, I believe, is that the need to control outcomes. Now, you think that your analysis should force the market to produce results for you, and this is bad. This is very, very bad because when we come into the market, you learn patterns, you learn strategies. You see, somebody says, "Oh, I'm waiting for the market to come to my to come to my entry and then it's going to go up." Who told you that? The market is a living king. It decides where he wants to go. It has absolutely no respect for your analysis. It's just that sometimes we've studied patterns and we've observed that sometimes, not all the time, sometimes when the market is in a good mood with our pattern, it will perform in our direction. It will move in our direction. And yeah, if it does, fine. If it doesn't, fine. This is why we don't place an inordinate amount of affection on one trade, and we'll cover that in future teachings. How to shift from a one trade perspective to a trade by trade basis, and it is a skill that can be learned. It's so powerful. It's so powerful that when you understand that it's not about one trade, it's about the series of trade. I'm sure there are many times where one trade can be a good winner and another trade can be a terrible loser, a terrible winner, and one will be a loser and one will not be. But regardless, our focus is never on one trade. When you understand that it is never on one trade, your obsession to make one trade work has to die. There is a way to kill it. I will show you, but maybe in future videos. But you have to kill that. Now, you create certainty in a probability game, and you think, no, I believe in probabilities. You don't. You have to work on it. It's something that you are trained to. You were born to believe in certainty. Read your books, you pass your exams. That's how you were trained. You can't just alter these things because you believe, okay, you've learned a pattern in a market that is uncertain. So we learned how to read our books, pass exams, and then we come into the market and we study how to, oh yes, and it's very important to study technical systems and fundamentals and all that. And you believe that when I do this all this study, it should produce an outcome. It should produce a certain kind of outcome. And the outcome is yes, over time you'll be profitable. But the outcome does not work on one trade. It works on a series of trades. And this creates pressure because you don't just know why is it not working in my favor. How to master your trading psychology. This is where we go. The first part is we need to learn how to regulate emotions, not to suppress them. You cannot take emotions away from you. Why? There's a saying that says trade like a robot. How am I going to trade like a robot? It does not. How is that possible? I'm a freaking human being. There is it's not. I'm not wires and ones and zeros. I am flesh and blood, and emotions is how we function on the earth. So how are you trying to tell me that I should trade like a robot? That's not possible. The only thing is you can regulate your emotions, because emotions in itself is not bad. It's not. Happiness is not a bad emotion. Happiness is an emotion. It's not bad. But when you're too happy, it's a problem. Because when you come into a market like this, euphoria will kill you. Because people say, I've got it. I found the key. I found this, because you have like six trading streaks in a row. And that's the market favoring your pattern. Why? Because it favors your pattern every once in a while. Every time over a series of trade, it does favor your pattern. That does not mean that you've gotten it. Because when you say I got it, what you mean is, oh, the next trade will be a winner, and the next trade will be a winner, and the next trade will be. Let me tell you when you've got it. You have gotten it when you understand that I cannot control outcomes in the markets, right? I can only control how I react to the market. And then when I know that it is not one trade that would be the beyond and all, it is the series of trade. So that's why I teach trade in sample sizes, right? You put one, two, three, four. So I take first trade, I take second trade, regardless of how I feel or fear or greed. I take the next trade, I take the fourth trade, I take the fifth trade. Then after taking 20 trades, I now look at the outcome. 5 out of or 15 out of this or 10 out of this. And then I see after 20 trades, what are my winners, what are my losers. That's when I will now decide, okay, the outcome of this trade is a loss. So when you have a trading strategy that has an edge, and you know your trading strategy will not win all the time, but over time, yes, you will be consistent. Yes, you'll be profitable. That's when you've gotten it, not when you have six losing streaks. You need to regulate emotions. How do we do this? You check your body, check your breathing, okay, check your heart rate, especially if you day trade or if you scalp, right? It is very important that you check your emotions, check the veins in your body, check how your body temperature is behaving, and you breathe slowly. When you control or regulate your breathing for a day trader, you must do this thing we call deep breath. People say it doesn't work. It works phenomenally. Take in deep breath, hold it in, and breathe out. You take in deep breath, practice it until it becomes part of you. Now, check your pulse. Check how you're behaving. Ask yourself this question: am I still in control? Always ask yourself, am I still in control? In fact, there is a trading mentor that teaches psychology, and it teaches to set alarms. When that alarm rings, the next thing you're asking yourself is, okay, double check my body temperature, check your emotions, check yourself. Am I still in control? The next way to do this is self-love, and this is one of the things that many people, especially men, struggle with. And when we say work on yourself, people say, nah, you need to work harder, blah, blah, blah. Let me ask you a question. Every time you've beaten yourself up because you've taken a loss, has that changed anything? Has that made you more successful? Has that made you more profitable? Oh, why did you do this? And you hit your head, you beat yourself. Some people begin to make themselves feel unworthy. That's how they trained you. That's how you were wired, that anytime you made a mess or you made a mistake, deal with yourself, treat yourself unfairly, punish yourself so you will not do it anymore. Like the way you train, say maybe a you train something with a reward system. But when you do good, it pats you on the head. When you do bad, and that is a very destructive way to train. You must learn self-love. You must stop beating yourself up. You must understand that losses do not make you a failure. Losing this trade or not, I've shown you my trades. Some of them are losses, others are wins. In fact, if you rank the losses and the wins, my win rate is like 54% compared to my loss ratio. But if you consider every failure as, oh, I'm not worth it, I don't deserve this, And then you begin to feel, you create a mental barrier. Your brain begins to hate trading. Because if you remember when you were a child, nobody likes that teacher that bullied them. Nobody likes that teacher that was angry, that was telling them they could amount to nothing or they were stubborn. You didn't like it. It's the same way your brain hates trading. Some of you are afraid to approach the market because of what you tell yourself. You need to practice self love and compassion. And I'm sure most of the guys here, most of the men here are like, what is he saying? Well, if you feel like what I'm saying doesn't make sense, do it your way. I'm telling you what works. You need to be calm. Stop writing in your journal, I am so stupid for overtrading. Don't tell yourself that. Say, I'm becoming better. I overtraded today, but I'm learning better not to overtrade. Overtrading costs me, blah, blah, blah. The better way is to not overtrade. I stop revenge trading and I do it better. So self-love yourself. I mean, who is going to beat you up for loving yourself? Now, building new habits. Now, this is the one I will talk about where we move into the next session, because I can't compress everything on psychology into one session. So, but what we will do is we will talk about this into the next session. And so, as I was saying, why is habit so important? Habits are what form your are what makes you. Your subconscious mind is a multitude of habits that was infused in it. What do I mean? If your subconscious controls your emotions and your emotions control your trading results, then how do we control the trading results? You go to the emotions. How do we control the emotions? You go to the subconscious. How do we alter the subconscious? We form new habits. How do we do this? We will talk about this a lot because this is where you need to focus on to make your trading game, to change your trading game. And point something out to you. How to master trading psychology will not happen in 3 slides. What would it happen in? It will happen in you going back to learn and to put these things I've said in practice. Why? Because of point 3. The reason why you will practice these things I'm teaching is because when you insist on forming new habits, habits of what? Habits of controlling your emotions, controlling your breathing, controlling your sadness and your happiness level, your fear and your greed level. When you form these habits, habits of journaling, when you practice those emotions, and when you rehearse, and before you even trade, you rehearse calmness. I am in control of my mind. My emotions are not in control. And you practice these things, and we will teach specific habits in the next session. You will see that all of a sudden, and it's not all of a sudden because it takes time, when you are under pressure, what comes out of you is this good habit you are now forming. Why? I'm connecting something to you. Your habits create something, it creates a pathway in your subconscious. Your subconscious affects your emotions. Your emotions now affect your actions. Your actions now affect your results. You can write this down like a chart. I think we'll do that for the next slide we'll bring up has that. So it's very, very critical that you see or you understand what I'm telling you. When you, it's a new trading week. When you go before your charts tomorrow, day trader, swing trader, and you want to trade, before you even do that, take time and identify the trading mistakes that you make. Not the same is not for everybody. It's not the same for everybody. Like someone like me, I've learned early. I always put a stop in my trade because that is a good habit. And we'll talk about that. You never assume that a trade has the potential to make or mar you. Don't do that. Don't over leverage and be like, this is the trade that will change my life. Who told you that? There is no certainty here. We are working in an uncertain field, regardless of the pattern you trade. I have learned a very powerful SMC concept. Okay, awesome. All right. So, and well, somebody did a video with it, and the person made 1 point something million and withdrew from this prop account. Great. All right. Let's see the SMC concept, and then you show me, and then show me where that thing worked every time. If that thing did not work 10 out of 10 trades, why over leverage trading that? Ask yourself that question. Why should I be over leveraging on a trade that does not, that on a market that did not make 10 out of 10 trades? What if that trade, that last one, is the one that makes the mistake, or the one that is the losing trade? Now, finally, I'll leave you with this because I don't want this to be long. Everything I've said will work for you if you practice them, because there are many, 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 many results and many, many testimonials. When you shift your focus, I've listened to testimonials where the person came and said, "Sir, you have helped me see and not just a better account or a better trading performance, but I'm a better person." And because trading is the highest form of self mastery, the highest form, I believe personally, of self mastery. Why? Because trading teaches you to give up control. This is crazy, but it's true. Trading teaches you enormously to give up control. Control of what? Control of outcome. You only control yourself. You cannot control outcomes. Listen to me. When I drag that chart pattern and I put it on the charts tomorrow, I cannot control the outcome, but I can control myself following my trading plan, following my trading system, following what is required of me to do. So, but how do I do that? Seeing that no matter how I tell myself I make a mistake, I need to identify this thing in my mind that is causing this challenge. So what we will do is tomorrow when we meet in the London session, you agree before now, take out your time, identify your problems, and some of them you might not be willing to share, and that's fine. It's okay. I've listened to someone who his challenge from the beginning was that he had issues growing up in his marriage. So he had a very, very serious divorce. That divorce led to him not being able to function better. Could you imagine that? Because my wife left me for somebody who had money. Now I come into trading knowing that, okay, because I saw something, and trading it actually can produce a stream of income where you can rely on. It does, it can do that. It's not just going to give you a stream of income, it's actually going to help you achieve those financial goals. But if you master this part, and he entered into trading, and then boom, those things they began to play in his trading, because the need to want to prove that I am worth something, I am bigger, I am better than the person that you followed. And when you bring that mindset, it affects every single trade. You need to understand that trading works in this simple way. This is it. If you do not hear anything I said, hear this. Trading works like this. I have a statistical edge, right, that works. And I have proven to myself trading a demo account that over a series of trade with a sample size of 20 trades, the trade I come out profitable than before. Like I will come out profitable. That's the statistical edge. Then the second engine that you add up to it is I cannot control the outcome no matter what I do. So I give up control. I let it go. The only thing I can do is follow my trading plan. The only thing I can do is risk 1%, 2%, 3% of my account. Why? Because this trade, the outcome isn't certain. If you understand this simple English, these words that I just put together, if you understand this at a subconscious level, because not just to hear, oh, I know what you're talking about, a subconscious level. Why? Why am I talking about the subconscious level? Because I'm repeating myself, and it's for a reason. Because your subconscious controls your emotions. Your emotions does what? It triggers a fight or flight response. And once you enter a flight or fight response, your survival mode kicks in. Logic is out of the window. You must press this thing in your subconscious mind by forming habits. We will talk about habits, we'll talk about it moving forward. But for now, this would be the end of this session. I hope this has been helpful, and I will see you in future teachings. If it has been helpful, let me see in the chat box. Let me get a review so we can wrap up and be done. If you have a question, you can also ask. Okay, I'm permitted to take questions. Okay. If you have a question, you can ask. So we can move. If you have any challenge, you can ask. Somebody said I think this is Jim. You are a giant among ordinary. Oh, come on. Thank you so much. I'm still learning myself. Thank you so much. Please, sir, can we get the slides? I will talk to the team. They largely don't give out this because of intellectual property, but I will talk to them. Uh, Thanks for the value impacted. You're welcome. You're welcome. Use it for your trading. Thank you so much. Any questions? SMC and ICT. Okay, that's what you trade. That's fine. That's fine. Still add your psychology to it though. Okay, David says just joined now, but I missed a lot. I think the team has a way of putting it on YouTube. So yes, about the Excel template. Okay, okay. We'll see how to get it across to you. Okay, okay. So says, but a talented teacher, more more strategies. Okay. I guess this is okay. I guess this is a compliment. Thank you. Last. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you too. Okay. I guess we don't have questions. Can we? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you too. Thank you so much, sir. I've observed myself and found that I have problems with doubt and hesitation to execute my trades. When a trade works, I feel bad. Okay. So when you have doubts and you have hesitation, when you hesitate, and then at the end of the day it now works, you feel bad. The reason you hesitate largely might be two different ones, but one of the major ones is because you believe subconsciously at a very subconscious level, you believe you know what would happen. That's why one of the reasons we hesitate when we trade. You believe the trade will fail because you think you know it will fail. So subconsciously, you don't take the trade, you hesitate. But the truth is, we don't know if the trade will fail or if it will win. So it's something we have to train. It's a training. Your brain is a muscle. We can train it into believing that I don't know the outcome. So there is absolutely no point of hesitating. The second thing is you don't want to be wrong. That's why you might hesitate. Because if you're wrong, you lose money, and that can be painful. And it's not just about the losing of the money. It's about the fact that when you're wrong, it also taps you into a series of subconscious emotional pain. So it's something you need to learn to work on. So it will be like what you can start with is you write it down and say, I don't know the outcome. There's no need to hesitate because I can't tell the outcome. The second thing is it's okay to take losses because my edge will work over time. It might not be as easy I'm saying it, but you need to say this to yourself a lot. And you need to identify these two things. Do I think I know what the market will do? Is that why I hesitate? You also need to ask yourself, why am I afraid of being wrong? Okay, second question. This is Daniel. It says, what lot size would you recommend for a person with $100 account in order to uh, okay, in order to be calm when trading, and does capital have an impact on psychology? Okay, well, the first question, okay, I think the questions are intertwined. Yes, capital does have a huge impact on psychology. Trust me, capital does. Uh, and this is why prop trading industry is making massive profits from our funds. We buying their profits. So yeah, capital does have a massive impact, but there is I'll get back to that. Now, what lot size you should use? It depends on how much you're willing to risk. Because for $100 account, you don't have enough capital to play with from the beginning. So with $100 account, you want to trade as small as possible, especially when you are starting. Because I have come to understand that the higher you risk, the more emotional pressure you put on yourself. And as you have seen, emotional pressure causes a lot of problems. So if you're risking money you can't afford to lose, guess what? You will be under that emotional pressure. When that emotional pressure comes in, fight or flight kicks in. So you want to be risking, if you're trading $100 account, find the threshold that is comfortable for you to lose. If I was trading $100 account with the knowledge I have now and okay, I perfected or I'm still perfecting rather, because we are still students. I'm still perfecting my trading. I'm going to be risking, personally speaking, from anywhere from 5 to 10. That's even too much for a beginner. You should be, if you're a beginner, be risking $1 to $2, $3, $1 to $2, $3, $5 at most, until you know what you're doing. And never risk something that will put you under pressure. If that money level is different from everybody, there are some people, it is even half a dollar, 50 cents is what they are willing to lose, and they will be in a state of mind that is calm. Do that until you master what you're doing. So it's not about the size of the money, right? It's about how much you're willing to lose. And yes, impact does have a very profound response on psychology, because if you have more capital to play with, you risk. If I have a $1,000, I'm risking 50, and instead of blowing my account in one trade, of course, capital does play a role. Will the psychology class just okay, says, well, the psychology class just opened my eyes to my negative. Oh yeah, I'm glad. So you can identify that and work on it. So everything you're saying is completely true. I've been struggling a lot. I feel like I need rehab sometimes. I understand that. And it's because of the habits. The subconscious mind is in control. You can work on it. It can be trained. It will take time, but we can work on it. And that's why we're in a mentorship. With time, you can work on it with certain specific trading styles. Okay, so excellent teaching, sir. Okay, thank you so much.